Hi and welcome to Life Plus. My name is Luke Taylor and I'm the minister of New Life Church Teesside, and it's wonderful to be with you to share this time together. We've called these times Life Plus because that's exactly what they're all about. Exploring the meaning of life, the place that God has, who we are as people and what God has done for us. But also Jesus promised that those who follow him would have life abundantly. Life eternally. Life plus. I hope that tonight will encourage you, challenge you, and help you see more clearly who Jesus is and what he's done. If you have any questions or things you'd like to discuss, if you're watching with hosts tonight, I know they'd be absolutely delighted to help you with that. If not, feel free to get in touch with us. We're going to start tonight with a song just to get us in the right frame of mind before we get to our message.
Foolish heart, looks like we're here again. Same old game of plastic smile. Don't let anybody in. Hiding my heartache. Will this glass house break? How much will they take before I'm empty? Do I let it show? Does anybody know? But you see the real me, hiding in my skin, broken from within. Unveil me, come completely. I'm loosening my grasp. There's no need to mess, my friend, here, 'cause you see the real me. Painted on, life is behind a mask. Self-inflicted circus clown, tired of this song and dance. Living a charade, always on parade. What a mess I've made of my existence. But you love me even now, but still I see you somehow. But you see the real me, hiding in my skin, broken from within. Unveil me completely. I'm loosening my grasp. There's no need to mess, my friend, here. Oh, 'cause you see the real me. Oh, wonderful, beautiful is what you see when you look at me. You're turning the tattered fabric of my life into a perfect tapestry. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I just wanna be me. Yes. Just wanna be me. But you see the real me, hiding in my skin, broken from within. Unveil me completely. I'm loosening my grasp. There's no need to mess, my friend, here, because you see what you see when you look at me.
How can you say Jesus is the truth when there's no such thing as truth? Now there's a question. One maybe you've asked, maybe one you've been asked. We live in a world today that could be described as post-truth, where the idea of truth has been replaced with a point of view. That's my truth. Speak your truth. So let's have a conversation about truth and about Jesus. By the way, it's not me that said Jesus is the truth, although I do say that. It's Jesus who actually said it. In John 14 verse 6, Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." So I just want to clarify that. If you want to quote somebody as saying Jesus is the truth, then you need to be quoting Jesus on that one. The concept of truth is an important one. And as we explore questions about faith, questions about Jesus, we need to know if there's actually an answer to the questions that we ask. Otherwise, we'd just be wasting our time. So let's ask what truth actually is. Jesus had a conversation about truth with the Roman governor Pilate. We can read that in John 18. He says, "For this purpose I was born, and for this purpose I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth. Anyone who listens to the voice, to truth, listens to my voice." Pilate said to him, "What is truth?" So we are far from the first generation to ask the question, what is truth? Questioning the nature of truth is something we've been doing for a long time because it's a curious thing. How do you define truth? Does truth even exist? Because we live in a world where we can say, that's your truth. Which is a strange thing to say when you think about it. We aren't saying, well, that's just your opinion. We're saying something bigger than that. That's more like that's your view, that's your reality. That just believing in a viewpoint, is that enough to make that viewpoint true? Can truth be that subjective? And this isn't just a question we have today or even back at the time of Jesus. It's something we've been asking for longer. The Greek philosophers loved to explore the meaning of truth. Plato had a great definition of truth. He said, "A true claim states things the way they are, and a false claim states things differently from the way they are." I think Plato's got a good definition there. It really breaks it down to the meat and potatoes. Truth, therefore, has to be based on something, or it's not truth. Or so you'd think. But that's often challenged today. Truth, by its very nature, can it actually be subjective and changeable? Surely if it's truth, it has to be objective, fixed, despite opinions. And really there's two different types of truth, subjective and objective. Subjective truth is a personal reality. My subjective truth is the way I see the world. But does that make it actual reality? Truth can only be actual truth when it's objective, where it's fixed, not filtered. Or it can't really be called truth at all. It can be very easy to hold the attitude held by sitcom character and ex-lawyer Jeffrey Winger, who said,
"I discovered at a very early age that if I talk long enough, I could make anything right or wrong. So either I'm God or truth is relative. And in either case, booyah."
To which he's told,
"Interesting. It's just the average person has a much harder time saying booyah to moral relativism."
"But that's a mistake. Making something right or wrong the way a lawyer does doesn't actually change the truth, just the perception of it. Perception can be wrong and people can believe it to be the truth, but that doesn't make it actually true. A solicitor can twist facts and make people see facts differently, but the facts themselves must remain fixed, otherwise there can be no true justice. For example, if I was to say my car is parked outside my house, that is not a subjective statement. It either is or it isn't. That can't be a matter of opinion. Now, you might be able to say, well, is it really your car? You've not paid for it yet. Or is it even your house? If you have a mortgage, doesn't it belong to the bank? And yeah, if you were really picky, you could question those things. But it would be objectively true that the car I have a certificate of ownership for is outside the house I have a certificate of ownership for. That is not a matter of perception. That's not my truth. It's objective truth. Now, if you were to say, well, my truth is your car isn't outside your house, that can't be truth. That would be a false claim. See, reality is not something that will change with our opinions, even if our perception of reality is different to that. Now, if I was to say my car is the best car in my street, that would be a subjective truth. That would be my truth. But it could not be an objective reality. Actually, with my car, it's closer to a lie than even a subjective truth, but you get the idea. It may be very cool and modern to say there's no such thing as ultimate truth. But that statement in itself denies itself by claiming to be the actual truth of the situation. Saying there's no absolutes is in itself an absolute claim that therefore disproves itself. And we have this real problem today where we fall out on things in society so much, both sides claiming to be truth, both denying the other, and it can get very easy to ask like Pilate, what even is truth anyway? But some things are clearly objectively incorrect. The earth is either flat or round. It can't be both. One of them has to be true. Opinion may be your truth. See, we all have a worldview that we see the world through. And to each and every one of us, that is our ultimate reality. But that can only ever be subjective truth. The truth itself must be bigger than that. Truth is real, even if it's not popular. Truth is real even when you don't like it. Truth is real even when it's uncomfortable. Truth is not affected by popular opinion. Now, why harp on about this? Well, for Jesus to claim to be the truth, that statement has to be either correct or incorrect. It can't be both. We must understand when we're talking about the big things in life, such as the existence of God, heaven, hell, the soul, the nature of existence, who we are as humans, that there is an answer to the questions. Which means, when it comes to faith, to say, well, that's okay for you, that's your truth, but it's not mine, that doesn't cut it as an answer. That's actually a cop-out. To say of Christianity, well, that's your truth, not mine, is to deny the whole point of truth. Christianity is either true or it isn't. It can't be both. And you cannot approach this subject expecting there not to be an answer, because there must be. Either God exists or he does not. He can't be both. And the answer to that question, therefore, matters. The truth doesn't care if it's what your preference is. Whether you like it or you don't, it stays true regardless. When looking at Jesus, the question isn't, do I want this to be true? Are there things about Christianity I struggle with? Are there issues I have with religion or the concept of God? None of these questions are the main point. The big question is it true? And that is what you must decide. Jesus didn't just say he was the truth. He said he was the way, the truth, and the life. He said nobody comes to the Father except through him. This is either true or it's a lie. If it's a lie, Jesus should not only be dismissed, but he shouldn't have a reputation as a good teacher. If it's true, then Jesus is the only way to God. He is the truth, and he is the life and the way. The day that Jesus met Pilate, he was taken to be executed. The death of Jesus on the cross is historical truth. He was buried. Historical truth. A few days later, that tomb was empty. Historical truth. Investigate, look into it. His followers went from hiding to saying to everyone they met Jesus had risen from the dead. This message then spread across the world, and countless lifestyles and lives have been changed ever since. I can say with confidence that Jesus isn't just my truth, he's the truth. This is a question we all must decide a position on. It's too important to ignore. Truth exists, and he is the truth. And the truth is, he loves you, and he died for you. It's my hope, and it's my prayer for you, that you will see Jesus is the truth. Can I just pray as we close? Lord, I just ask for those who are watching, that, Lord, if they haven't seen the truth of who you are, that, Lord, you'll encourage them to investigate and take the question seriously. That, Lord, you'd open their eyes to who you are. Give them confidence in the truth. For those who don't even deal with the concept that there is truth, Lord, I pray, Lord, that you'll challenge them on that. That, Lord, all of us must make a decision about who you are. And Lord, I pray you'll open people's eyes to you. Amen. Amen. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this with home hosts or with other people and you have questions, I'm sure they'd be delighted to answer them. If you're watching by yourself, please feel free to get in touch with us, write on the comments or get in touch with us via our website. We'd love to explore this journey of faith with you. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to being with you next time. God bless.